That is
a major challenge. All right, gentlemen, we need to move on. The term Almajiri was originally used to describe male children who migrated from their homes in search of Islamic knowledge. But today, the concept has been expanded to mean young children left to fend for themselves and without formal education. Speaking about the recent hunger protests across the country, Governor Abdullahi Sule of Nasarawa State has described Almajiri as a time bomb. Governor Sule noted that the majority of the people who came out for the protest in his state were minors who had no knowledge of what they did. The governor called for urgent intervention from state governors to nip the problem in the bud. The governor of Borno State spoke.
In what could have been a major disaster, attempts were made by these hoodlums on several occasions on Thursday to attack the Maiduguri emergency gas power plant. However, it was averted by our gallant security forces. To those who seek to exploit the current situation by engaging in criminal activities under the guise of protest, I urge you to reconsider your actions. Theft and vandalism only harm our community. Let us express our grievances through peaceful and lawful means, respecting the rights and property of others. Violence has no place in our society, and I implore all citizens to reject any call to arms or acts of aggression. Let us embrace dialogue, understanding, and tolerance as we work together to build a brighter future for Borno State. Protecting the lives and properties is the main responsibility of any government. Therefore, as we lift the curfew on Saturday, 3rd August 2024, any person that engages in looting or violent activities will be dealt with accordingly. Over 95% of those participated in Thursday's so-called protests were children under 14 years. Most of them do not even know why they are protesting. A 6-year-old child carrying a placard is amazing. It must have been directed by someone. Most of those children are not from Borno State. While you are not discouraging the Almajiri education, children must, however, have their teachers, parents, or guardians looking after them. A situation where thousands of children living in Maiduguri without care from anyone in the name of Almajiri must be looked into.
Thank you.
I think the governor of Borno State nailed it. And then the governor of Nasarawa State, the statement that he made was that, gentlemen, as governors of northern Nigeria, let's do the right thing. Let's not say, oh, I'm a Muslim. Then he said, what happened during this last protest? It's like a big warning sign for us that, look, this is a time bomb. You unleash children so young, nobody is taking care of them. They are far away from their parents. Of course, when there is crisis, they are going to be seen everywhere, putting fuel in the fire. That was what we saw. And two governors cannot be wrong. Mm-hmm. I listened to what Zulum said just the day after the first day of protest. Now the governor of Nasarawa has said the same thing, that this is a time for us to look at this issue and take a decision. I don't think that we should wait further, because just as the governor of Borno said, more than 95% of the so-called protesters were children under 14 years of age who cannot even explain why they were doing it,
what they did.
Why they were protesting. Now, the governor of Nasarawa State also said that he saw some of them in Lafia, he stopped them, that they could not even explain why they were on the streets. Yet, these are the people looting, these are the people, look at some kids. Can you see? Were they supposed to be part of this protest? You know? Look at, there was something, I read the story about a child involved in this Almajiri thing. He said, we will go to beg at 6 a.m. and return at 7 a.m. Go out again at 11 a.m. and return for prayers at 2 p.m. By 6 p.m. and 8 p.m., we are back again on the streets begging. That's nearly the whole day, just begging. And whenever there is crisis, because these boys, nobody fends for them, they just start unleashing violence on everyone. So there was a plan to better take care of these children. The governors of northern Nigeria must find a way. They must find a way. I'm not saying it's a bad idea to send children that young to go and learn Islamic knowledge, Quranic education. Because even the Holy Prophet said you must be committed to seeking knowledge, and that if you need to travel all the way to China, you must travel just to seek knowledge. So it's a good thing to seek knowledge. It's a good thing to have knowledge. But I believe that they have to find a way to do this in a way that takes good care of these children, that doesn't appear like, oh, they are abandoned.
Obike, do you think they really know what to do to address this problem? Because if Governor Sule says in 2020 a decision was taken, but it could not work.
No, if there is the political will, it will work.
Okay.
If there is political will, it will work. I was in Jigawa State during the time of Sule Lamido, and he challenged us that you will not find a single person on the streets begging. God is my judge. On that day, we moved around the state capital. We didn't see anybody begging.
Oh.
We didn't see anybody begging. Sule Lamido was a fantastic governor, you know, and a very principled man. After all these years, he has refused to leave the PDP. There was a time someone said, came up with a story that Sule Lamido had left the PDP. I said, the Sule Lamido that I know will not leave PDP. We were arguing in the newsroom. I said, just wait. This thing will soon be confirmed to be a lie. And that was what happened. My boss, Gbemiga Ogunleye, was there. I told him, I said, Oga, he will not leave PDP. And he didn't leave PDP. You know? So he told me, you will not find anybody begging on our street. And I didn't see them. And I wasn't the only one. At that time, Professor Farouk Perogi, we were in Jigawa at the same time. We didn't see any beggar. It is possible to take them off the streets and still give them the Quranic education that they cherish. Instead of leaving them to the elements, you know, in a state of neglect and all that. That's the point. The state governors have to come together, get the ulamas involved, get brilliant academics involved to look at a modern way of dealing with this issue. And I believe it's possible. If the willpower is there, if they all agree. What happened to the Almajiri schools? You know? Are they functioning? Did they complete the projects?
According to reports, the schools remain in poor condition due to inadequate maintenance, poor state government funding.
Yeah, it's part of acceptance. It's part of
because limited acceptance by intended beneficiaries.
Because it's the ulamas. That's why I said the ulamas. You cannot achieve your aim if you don't bring those clerics on board. Okay. You must bring the clerics on board. Get them to realize that, look, this is why we are doing this, and it will benefit everyone. And you must register them. Register the clerics. There are some of them who are illegal clerics, just using these boys to go and beg for money. You must also register them.
All right.
So there are things that they can do. I believe that if the political will is there, they will do it. It's not a big deal. And I know someone like Zulum, you know, it's not somebody that you toy with. If he wants to do something, he's focused, he's extremely stubborn, he's focused, he will do it.
Ezekiel, your reaction?
Yes, thank God that some of the political leaders in the north are seeing what some of us have seen. And I've been talking about for years. On this program last 2 weeks, a fortnight ago, we discussed this issue vis-a-vis the protest and looting that went on in the north. And we discussed and we said that from what the evidence coming up from the north, from this protest, looting, and rest of them, is the fact that we're sitting on a time bomb. And if nothing is done, that what we've just seen is just a child play compared to what will happen in the nearest future.
Yes.
And the greatest beneficiaries of these youths are the leaders, political leaders in the north. And you ask yourself, because when there is an election in the north, these are the children they mobilize to go and vote. So many of them underage. But after election, they discard them and throw them back on the streets. And I've given instances where I've been to the north several times, from Bauchi to Gombe to Kanu and all the rest. If you see the sheer number of these children alone, some of them have not had their bath in 2 weeks. Is that bad? If you come down to come and say you want to buy maybe a loaf of bread or akra, the way they will rush you and probably collect.
They're hungry.
Very, very hungry.
Hungry.
And I think that's a deliberate attempt by the leaders in the north to perpetually keep these children in this state so that they can use and manipulate them. And that is why some of them have become fertile land mines for people who engage in all sorts of insecurity to be able to recruit them to engage in some of these things. And so it's good they are speaking up. And talking about, we're talking about, Julo Jonathan came out to say that he built 165 Almajiri school, Almajiri school in the north.
Invested 15 billion naira.
I invested over 15 billion. No matter whatever you say, whether the school is imposted, I will tell you, I'll give you a practical example. In 1979, the state of school system in Lagos was so bad when Alhaji Lateef Jakonde took over. We had the morning, afternoon, and evening session. What did he do? He built what was known as Jakonde schools. What looks like poultry houses. You remember those?
They were abusing him.
And they were abusing him. Most of the beneficiaries of those poultry schools are our leaders.
They are doing well.
Most of them are senators. Most of them are governors. Most of them are House of Representatives. Some of them are. So when you say the school, the state of the school that he built is not in the best state. What is the state of the one?
Quality of instruction
that is it.
Not the
it's quality. Not the quality.
It's not the quality.
The building doesn't make the school. So I hope that this is a big eye opener for the leaders.
I'm happy that at least
two
strong governors.
Two governors are already saying it, and I hope that the others, about 16 or 17 of them, will queue into this and make sure something is done. If not,
you can't just leave those children.
You can't just leave those children.
You can't look at what Zulum said now. They say a situation in which you live underage children unattended, far away from their parents. He said it's not an ideal situation.
Because this is added to the number of those we also have in that we also have in the IDP camps. Most of those students, they don't go to.
No, we are even talking of out of school.
Out of school.
Are those not out of school?
Look at them. Look at
this little girl. What does this one know about protests? Why was she even among the protesters?
Just look at it. It's so terrible.
And that's
why some of them can go to an ICT. An ICT is that it's just to be supposed to be and loot it.
All right, gentlemen, serious situation there, and we hope that relevant stakeholders find a lasting solution to this. Let's